We are in a crisis. Our generation, once full of bright, young, and aspiring individuals, are falling into the hands of social media, turning us into lazy, ill-disciplined, and isolated people. We were meant to be the future leaders, activists, and pioneers of the world, but instead, we are wasting every bit of our potential. Every day, teenagers and young adults spend at least 5 hours on social media, which is over 30% of the average waking hours. Instead of doing something more productive or spending time with their friends and family, we choose to spend countless hours consuming content of no value to us. In fact, studies show that more than 9 in 10 teenagers spend time on social media with their friends, but only 25% of those actually hang out with their friends outside school. Social media is corrupting our minds, luring us into the trap of instant gratification and making our brains addicted to the constant dopamine rushes that our devices provide. Remember the time when you said you wanted to try something new, or the time when you said you wanted to improve your public speaking skills, but never did? This is why. With over 2 billion users on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube, social media is not only taking thousands of hours away from our lives, but destroys our dreams and ambitions. Don't look back onto your life when you're 90, just be regretting that you haven't accomplished everything you wanted in life and haven't achieved your dreams. Furthermore, social media is destroying our mental health, stripping us of all our happiness in the world. Our endless scrolling of short-form content has mentally deteriorated our minds, with the average teenager only having an attention span of 8 seconds. We can't even focus on the content we're watching, let alone our schoolwork. Moreover, we, as young people, actively seek for social validation, whether it's in the form of likes or comments for a video we posted, or watching motivational content telling that you're on the path to success. These are all dopamine hits. Everyone wants to have instant gratification, instant success, instant love, but you will never be successful if you're stuck on your phone your whole life. By scrolling through millions of posts every single day, you will also be constantly comparing yourself to other people, bombarding yourself with questions. Why is that person so successful? How am I not rich? As President Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. There's no point comparing yourself to other people and assume you are going to achieve everything that they have achieved if you're never willing to put the work in yourself. But the consequences of social media can be far more devastating. Let me tell you about the story of Molly Russell, a 14-year-old girl from Harrow, North London. In 2017, she tragically took her own life after spending months interacting with social media posts relating to self-harm and suicide. But unfortunately, she is not the only one, with over 45% of children aged between 8 and 17 also having interacted with inappropriate or harmful content online. Social media is destroying our mental health, causing us to undermine ourselves of our capabilities and erodes our self-confidence and self-esteem. Our screens also have a detrimental impact on our physical health, leading to problems such as sleep deprivation and obesity. Although some people may argue that typing endlessly on a keyboard or phone may be considered an exercise, not even 1/4 of children aged between 8, 6, and 17 spend at least 1 hour a day doing physical exercise, leading to a surge in health problems such as obesity, increased blood pressure, and diabetes. Our constant use of social media has also significantly impacted our natural sleep patterns. Studies have shown that using our phones before bed makes it harder for us to fall asleep, as the blue light emitted from our screens prevents the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. As a result, many people find it hard to concentrate in class and experience increased stress levels, leading to worse academic performances. We, as young people, require at least 9 hours of sleep a day to allow for cognitive development and physical growth to occur. But more than 70% of us fall short due to our sleep-centric lifestyles. Overcoming our social media addictions will be difficult and will take time. But we must follow 3 main steps to overcome our addictions to achieve our full potential. The first step we must take is to acknowledge ourselves. We must understand why we have an urge to go on social media, whether it's because we're seeking for social validation, relieving ourselves from the constant pressures we are facing, or simply because we have nothing better to do. Whilst other addictions, such as smoking and alcohol, can also have a detrimental impact on our health, they cost money, and people have to go out in order to buy these products, where social media is free and accessible, always available at our fingertips. The second step we must take is to ask ourselves the questions. Why do we want to overcome our social media addictions? What do we achieve by removing it from our lives? We must acknowledge the devastating consequences that social media have on our lives and understand why we want to quit our social media addictions so badly. Maybe it's because we finally realized how much time we are losing. Or maybe it's because we have a goal, an ambition, striving to become the best versions of ourselves. We need to have a purpose for quitting social media to give ourselves motivation and prevent us from falling back into our old habits. Finally, we must take action. We must discipline and set restrictions on ourselves. For example, we can go through a dopamine detox, which is the process of fasting ourselves from dopamine-producing activities such as social media and video games, which lowers our stimulation and allows us to regain control over our lives. We can replace our bad habits with good ones, practicing mindfulness, doing physical exercise, or spending time with your friends and family, which can still make you feel good without the constant need to stare into your screens. Success requires sacrifice, so you must have the right mentality to overcome your addictions to achieve your dreams. As Jim Rohn once said, everyone must all suffer one of 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. We can either choose to enjoy life now, only to suffer the eternal consequences of regret in the future, or we can discipline ourselves, overcoming small pains and challenges to become the best versions of ourselves. Thank you.